Good evening and welcome to the evening session today on day 6. This is April 11th. We're going to actually finish up with these sessions today, and then there's something new that's coming up from next week. But let me start by saying, it's been a great pleasure talking to all of you and the questions that I've been receiving. And I realize that there's definitely a need for this more and more today in our community, in our generation especially. To know how to handle our wealth and how to invest well. So today I want to talk about something about what next, what are next steps. Okay, so let me first look at the current market. I just want you guys to take a look at what's happened in the current market. As you know, this is the Nifty. Okay, the Nifty has fallen quite a bit. We started at 12,430 way back in Jan, and since then we've fallen all the way by the somewhere in March 20th or so, 21st, reached 7,500. And so we saw a fall of almost 5,000 points in just 2 months. Okay, 5,000 points in 2 months. 4 years of hard work that just disappeared in a moment. And I want you to know that life is just like this, okay? Something that we work very hard towards, it can disappear in just a moment. Your job, sometimes it can be your health, it can be anything. And so we got to make the best use of the opportunities that God gives us. And I want you to also know that this was an opportunity for people. Many people who were able to address this opportunity made money, while a lot of other people lost money in this market, because the people who noticed it was falling very rapidly were able to sell off, and then they were able to recoup some of that profit. But a lot of people lost out on this because they didn't see the opportunity. Now today, we are back at 9,100. In fact, the Nifty just breached the 9,100 mark, which was a resistance, and it crossed that. And so in the last few weeks, okay, this is less than a month now, in the last 3-4 weeks, we've actually gone up back 1,500 points. So we lost 5,000 in 2 months or 8 weeks, and then we went back up 1,500 in about less than a month. And so both of these are actually opportunities. This was an opportunity, and the going back up was an opportunity. And not many of us have actually made the best use of these opportunities. Now I want you to know that God is the one who gives all these opportunities. He brings all these opportunities in, and we have to realize that and invest well. Okay. So what's next? That's my question. What is next? What's going to happen next? And I want you to know that this is what the Nifty is looking like right now. You can see that we have crossed the 9,100 mark, and there is now a buy signal. If you can see here on the day technical charts of the Nifty, there is a buy signal. We haven't seen this in a long time. Now, if you notice something, this was when there was a sell signal. The peak was right here. See, when the bottom fell out 7,500, that was the peak of the sell signal. And the sell signal has been going down slowly, and the buy signal has come. This is a sign and an indicator. Okay, so there are always these indicators that would happen, and it is up to us to decide what we do with these indicators. Are we going to get into the market? Are we going to invest, or are we just going to let it go by? Okay, because I know fear is a real issue these days, because everybody's afraid of what to do next. Okay, but this was an indicator. But that was not the only indicator. After 6 weeks of continuous fall, this week was the first positive week for the Nifty. 6 weeks it went down straight. Every week there was losses, but this was the first week it was positive. Okay, and look at what was happening. So I'm not sure if all of you know what an FII and a DII is, but an FII is someone who's a foreign investor who comes in, a foreign institutional investor, and the DII is the domestic institutional investor. You're talking about mutual funds, you're talking about hedge funds, you're talking about banks, you're talking about corporations that get involved in finance. And so you will notice that the last 3 days, FIIs have been plus surplus buying. They've been buying into the market. And what were the DIIs doing? Smartly, they were buying the week before while the FIIs were still selling, and slowly now they're doing a bit of profit taking. Okay, they're taking some of the profit from what they made in the last week or so. But you would notice this is about the same time. This 27th is the same time I got in as well. And so I think many of us have followed that trend, those were smart enough, and now the foreign investors are also coming back. So that's again another sign. Okay, now look at this. It looks like the next resistance is somewhere around the 10,000 mark. And so even though there will be days when it's going to go sideways, that's the next barrier. Of course, there is smaller resistance along the way. There's another resistance at about 9,260. But the next possible target for the Nifty is 10,000 uh, based on all these indicators. We might not get there very soon, but we could get there very soon. We don't know. Okay. Um, Now, another reason why I say there is indicators is the 50-day average has gone above. You can see the dark green line has gone above the 100-day line or the 100-day average, which is the thin red line. What that means is the average of the last 50 days is much better than the average of the last 100 days, which means there is a buy signal or there is a bullish trend in the market. So these are all signals pointing to this one thing, that it is a good time to invest. The question is, why should we, oh, no, should you invest? Should I invest? And I want to go back to one thing. Okay, you will notice that a lot of people had doubts. What if the coronavirus issue still continues? I want you to know that because of the coronavirus, we have seen this drop dramatically, but most of the pain and most of the damage has already been done. Okay, we are actually now healing. All the hurt and all the damage was already caused, and now we are in a position to heal slowly. And so it's the same everywhere. The coronavirus probably in the next few months, who knows, a vaccine could be invented, something like that, and then after that it becomes like the flu. And at that point, it might be too late for us to step in and make the best out of our investments. Right now, I think is a good time to invest. And again, I want you to know that investment doesn't really depend on where the market is going. Okay, you can be investing on the bearish side, you could be investing on the bullish side. You can make money regardless of whether the market is going up, going down, or going sideways, or is volatile. Okay, and that's the truth. A good investor can make money in all these situations. Correct? So, but these are indicators that it is a good time to invest, just so you know. Okay, that's what I want to tell you. Now, if you look at this, the Nifty gained by 6%. But I told you, even though the Nifty gained by 6%, there were so many stocks that outperformed the Nifty. For example, if you were to look at these stocks, okay, for example, I have Suven Life Sciences, and this is the bigger brother. Suven Pharmaceuticals rose up by 54% in the same week. The Nifty went up by 6. Rail Vikas Nigam, Cipla, a lot of the pharma stocks, Imami, which was a stock that I was holding, and I showed you that before. All of these stocks actually went up because and it outperformed all of them. For example, there's a lot more stocks than this. These are just the main stocks that I put up, but all of these stocks have risen by at least 27%, which is like 3-4 times more than, or 4-5 times more than the Nifty over this 1 week. So my question to you today is, what is your plan? What are you going to do about this? We've been spending this entire week talking about a lot of knowledge and a lot of practical viewpoints and practical thoughts that I've been giving you. And my only reason why I'm doing all of that is to tell you that if I am able to equip you properly, you can generate kingdom wealth. Okay? And you can make the best of these opportunities. The lockdown is an opportunity. The market being crashing down is an opportunity. Either way, I just want you to know that I want to help you. And that's why we are introducing something called the KWC plans. Now, the first plan that we're going to talk about is learning. And the KWC learning plan is actually meant for anyone who wants to learn more about investing, but probably isn't keen on or doesn't have the finances yet to invest themselves. But they want to learn, they want to develop a skill, especially during this lockdown period. They want to invest their time and learn, how to invest well. And so this plan is for such people where we would, go through various investment techniques and the foundational market principles. You have already seen how much value there is through the last 6 days of training that we've done. And there will be Q&A sessions. The only difference is from the previous sessions is that we'll only do it twice in a week, one Saturday and one on a market day, both at 9 a.m. so that we will give live training on how to work the market, as well as a lot of theoretical and fundamental principles that they can learn on a weekday and on Saturday. And this is for just the donation of 200 rupees per month. That's like a lunch for most of us. And I want you to know that if you were to do this outside, people would be charging 8,000, 10,000 rupees. But this is just a donation against a donation of 200 rupees. You get to learn all of these things, and it is going to be helpful for you even in the future when you think about investing. Even if you can't do it now, but later in the future, if you learn it now, it's going to help you to invest well later. Right. The second plan that we have is the advisory plan. Now, a lot of people keep asking me from time to time, hey, how is this stock? What about this stock? Is this going to rise? What do you think about this one? And sometimes it's even during, the trading hours, and sometimes it can take me away or distract me from what I'm doing. And I have no issue helping, because if you are one of those people, you will know that I constantly say, okay, let me help you with that, and I will get you the data, and I will help you through that. But sometimes I realize that this is something that I want to improve on. Okay, if you want to come along and learn with me as I trade, I think that's an improvement on rather than just asking once in a while. And so that is what this plan is about. The advisory plan is a plan in which we would give intermediate training twice a week, and you will also be given data on long term and swing trade advice. I would talk about where I think the market is going. I was think, oh, what about these are the stocks that I'm looking at buying long term. These are the stocks that, hey, I just saw one cut a trend, and I'm going to get into this and purchase this stock. Things like that. I'm not necessarily telling you that you should buy the same stock as I do. I'm just going to tell you that these are the stocks that I'm looking at. These are the stocks that I'm going to buy. And you would have access to daily chat during the market hours. I know how stressful it is to do trading alone. And so I want to be there for you and help you through that process. We can have fun together on the market. And so this is just on a donation of 500 rupees a month. If you divide that by 20 trading days, you will realize that it's about 25 rupees a day, which is like 2 transactions that we give, a brokerage that we give to our broker right now. And for that, you would get someone who can sit with you, talk to you, and give you training as well at the same time. I'm going to train you on the, see what we've learned over the last week is the beginning stuff, the baby stuff. Now we're going to go into more intermediate stuff where we're going to look at the fundamentals, look at the techniques. Why does this happen and how does it happen? And so if you are interested, I think this is a great plan for people who are investing their own funds, but they would like to know more. They don't want to do it blindly. They need help, and this is something for you guys. Then there is another category, and this is the KWC Investment Partnership. And I know a lot of people there who out there who want to invest, but they simply don't have the time themselves. They're very busy, and they're definitely wanting to or looking to invest, but they don't have time. And here's my answer to you. Okay, we are going to ask you if you would like to lend us some money. Okay, you have money that you're keeping aside in the bank, and you want to invest it, but you don't have a great place to invest it. You want to invest in the stock market, but you're too busy. Well, I would tell you, I would like to borrow that from you, and I will give you a good rate for that as well. Now, the only thing that I would like to ask you is that I would need it for the minimum of 1 month. It doesn't make sense if I were to borrow the money from you today and then you ask for it tomorrow. So give me a period of 1 month at least, and you will receive a monthly update report of what's happening to the money that I borrowed from you. You'll also have access to the KWC advisory plan. My thought is that, hey, you might be busy elsewhere with your work, and so you don't have time to invest, but that doesn't mean you don't have time to learn. And so if you will have free access to the advisory plan anytime you have questions, any doubts that you have about the stock market or how to invest, you can just come up and ask. All right. And so we are expecting to give you a return of 1% per month for the loan that we borrow from you. Okay. Now this compares very easily to the outside metrics. If you look, mutual funds and SIPs would give us somewhere between 0.8 to 0.95% a month. We are looking at 1% a month. Okay. Even bonds and fixed deposits and savings banks, all of them give a much lower rate of return. So if you got money simply sitting and you want to invest it, but you don't have time to invest it personally, you don't have time to look into it, I'm telling you, I'm there to help you. I would love to borrow from you, and you can expect a good return on that money. Why would this make sense to you? Because you can do what you are doing the best way, and I can do what I do best on your behalf and myself. Okay? You will save time watching the market. I know that takes a lot of time. I will watch it like an eagle for you. All right. And you don't have to do all the research. Okay. Now the problem is when you don't have time, you don't have time to do all the research and do it well, and so you would probably not be able to invest right. But I will do that for you. You don't even have to pay the brokerage of investing. Uh, you know, when you get into the market, because I will do that for you. I will borrow the money from you, and I will invest on my behalf, and I will give you a good return. It is like you are investing yourself, but you don't have all the hassles. You don't have to spend time. You don't have to do the research. You don't have to pay anything extra. Okay, so if you are interested, this is the launch date, April 13th. Coming Monday is when we are going to go full steam ahead. And so if you are interested in any of the three plans, whether it's learning or advisory or investment, you can sign up at bit.ly/KWC Plan 1 right away. And I want to help you, create Kingdom Wealth. Okay, let's create it together. Maybe you don't know everything about investing. I want to teach you well. Maybe you do have time to invest, but you don't know everything yet, and you're learning. I want to encourage you along the way and give you, knowledge and transfer my wisdom to you. Maybe you want to invest, but you don't have time, and I want you to know that I am more than willing to agree to borrow from you, and then use that money create wealth, and I will want to give you a return that's better than what you would get on the market. And so you would earn back a return without actually having to spend time researching, without spending time, watching the market, without having to spend time, paying fees or paying things like that. This is something that I want to help you guys with, right? So if you are interested, please do go sign up immediately at bit.ly/KWC Plan 1. Let's create Kingdom Wealth together.